has more oil on it than in it.
That is completely loose.
This video is sponsored by the Xtool A30M. More about this later in the video. Right guys, and welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking delivery of yet another project. Now Casey at Bodywork has kindly found, sourced and sorted out this whole deal, and he's delivering it to me today. So I've walked around to meet him. Let's see what I've bought. There, this is the beast.
Here it is. It's all yours now, or should I say it's your problem now.
Yay. So what do you think of it then so far?
It seems alright, it's not too bad. It is what it is for the money.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll figure it out yourself when you go have a drive.
Do you want to tell the fine folks just how much we paid for this fine automobile?
So it starts with a 5 and it's got 3 zeros, no I'm joking, 2 zeros, £500. What a beast.
So that's a lot of car for very little money. Where else are you going to find a GSI for £500, let alone the most practical of the GSIs? Now obviously I've got some explaining to do on what on earth made me buy a Vauxhall from 2005. And well, honestly, I don't have a good answer for you. But these are very practical vehicles and I've always liked the style of them since the day they came out. Now this one needs a lot of love, and it's, for what I know, been used as a family car and a van for the past few years, and that's why it's got questionable things like this random heat event that isn't from a Zafira, and I have no idea what that's from, but it's in there. That said, Casey from Bodywork has had one of these for a number of years, and it has been ironically the most reliable vehicle that he's owned. Now whether I'll be saying the same thing about this one in a month's time, we'll have to see, but we're going to make our way through the issues that it's got, and for what I can see, most of them are relatively minor, other than the oil all over the engine, which is slightly concerning, but I'm hoping it's a valve cover. Let's get into it. So as we get down under here, we really can see that the engine has more oil on it than in it, and we can see that the exhaust flexi has completely blown out on the side, and that's why we're getting a bit woozy headed whilst driving. Now these normally sleeve in, and that's why we can see the clamp at the back end there, but somebody has decided to weld the front of this in. Now that is doing the job properly, so I can't fault that. It just makes things a little bit more difficult for me to replace it, but I think what I'm going to do is probably cut it here and try and peel this piece of metal away from here. Whether that works or not, well, there's only one way to find out. The old flexi is off. It wasn't actually as bad as I thought it would be. So this damage here that we can see is actually on the side. So I'm not entirely sure how that has happened. You'd expect to see something like that on the bottom side. Now on the other side we can see all this soot build up, which I believe there is going to be a hole under there somewhere, and that is the whole reason we're changing this. So all I've got to do is get the grinder out and see if I can break these welds free and try and reuse and save that piece of the front pipe.
bit tight in there, but you can just about see that. I'm using my camera microphone at the minute, so the audio might not be great, but as you can see, that is completely loose, along with the rest of the manifold bolts. So we need to tighten them up and make sure this thing isn't leaking. But if it's been leaking for any amount of time, the chances are that we need a new gasket in there. So, as well as the interesting issue with the bolts on the manifold there, we also have an issue with that circlip on the wastegate flap there. So it has actually sprung over the top and the washer has ridden up. So technically that is an exhaust leak as well, of which we need to sort.
Right, so one thing I'm going to attempt to do is try and revive the paint on this bonnet. So I've had a quick go with the polisher. Unfortunately, the mop on the polisher had black polish on it, so it has tainted it a bit. But it has come back fairly well. So what I'm going to do is hit it with some fine wet and dry on an orbital sander and see if I can bring it back, going through this surface layer of lacquer, just taking it down a little bit, trying not to go through it. It may work, it may not. Let's have a go. So that's the bonnet polished up and the exhaust leak fixed, as well as we found those little side quests along the way with the loose manifold bolts and the fact that that wastegate flapper is looking a little bit suspicious. That said, I've got another job that I need to do under there, but I need to find a Jubilee clip for, and that's as simple as the boot has come away from the steering rack, so obviously it's exposed inside, so I need to basically just refit that, clean it up, refit it. New Jubilee clip, job's a peach. Then we need to get to cleaning this thing out because, my God, it is filthy. So there we are, the car's mostly clean now, and I forget just how practical these things are. Simply by flipping up the base of the rear seats and sliding them forward to the back of the front seats, you can literally double this load space, which, you know, is really useful when you like to buy a lot of random junk. That said, The work is not done there. There is quite a lot more to do. I need to change the brakes on this, but that will be coming in a later video. Right now, we need to get to diagnosing why there is a weird hunting issue, and I suspect it may be down to something to do with the MAF sensor. So the Xtool A30M is a simple plug-and-play Bluetooth OBD device. You simply plug it in and connect via an app on your smartphone, and this gives you the ability to perform service reset functions, access live data, and also read and clear those pesky fault codes. That said, we've got some fault codes that we can do with reading and clearing on this. So let's give it a go and put it to the test. Take our Xtool A30M Bluetooth device and plug it straight into our OBD port, which in this case is in the center console. You then get that audible sound and a red light indicating power. There is also an LCD screen on the front that tells you your battery voltage, and then we simply open up the app, switch on our ignition and connect to it. So when we first open up the app, we will be asked to enter some details. This is just to simply set up an account and is quite easy. We register our device and then we're greeted with this screen. Now from this screen we simply go to the settings menu and scroll to Bluetooth, add a device. Now this is quite a simple process to just simply add your tool. We go to Diagnostic, in this case Opal. Manual selection because automatic detection didn't work on this car. 2005 Zafira. Then we go to system selection, engine, and pick our Z20 LET. It then connects to the ECU and we can read the fault codes. Now as you can see there is a fault code for the mass airflow sensor. So we will clear that code and then make sure that it is at least temporarily gone away, which it has. So let's go to the MAF sensor itself. Now I've just put the MAF back in, I'm just going to connect it up and see if our problem has gone away. So in the app we can see our live data. Now live data is more important than you'd think because a sensor doesn't always cause a fault code when it goes wrong. When sensors start to fail, they can typically just start reading slightly wonky, so the ECU just tries to correct for that. But it's enough to send everything else out of whack and cause a bigger problem than it should do, but not trigger an engine management light. So as we look at the live data here, we can actually see that the O2 sensor on bank 1 is reading slightly lower than what I'd expect it to do, and it's also behaving quite erratically. Now at this point I am blipping the throttle, which is why you're seeing the readings changing, but I wouldn't expect the readings to be showing in the way that they are doing. So what I suspect is we actually have a faulty O2 sensor and not a faulty MAF. Now sometimes on cars you can get a faulty MAF code for a dodgy O2. So this appears to be the culprit of our problems, the O2 sensor when it focuses down there. It's the one pre-cat, so the one on the downpipe essentially, and we just need to get that changed out. So there we go, that ironically proves how important live data is. That wasn't planned, but now I know that it's likely to be the O2 sensor. I have gone ahead and ordered a genuine Bosch one. Now, like I say, if you want to get your own Xtool A30M, please head to the link in my description, use the discount code for 20% off of yours. Thank you again Xtool for sponsoring this episode. So that is it for this video, but be sure to let me know in the comments what you think of this car. Was it a good buy or a bad one? I personally don't think I can complain for £500 to get the most practical of the GSIs, and even with the little bit of work it needs, it still comes in at a reasonably good price. That said, don't forget to go and check out the Bodywork channel. Casey, I can't thank you enough, bud, for sorting this out and bringing it over to me and, you know, feeding my addiction to hoarding junk. Make sure you guys go over to his channel and share the love. Check out the video of him delivering this thing and trying to play a trick on me. That said, as well, a huge thank you to Xtool. Please use the link in my description and the discount code for 20% off the A30M using my code. It is a handy little diagnostic tool. That said, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.